Mixtapes and DVDs is my era.
Facts.
We did it better.
Yep.
Pelly leathers,
Facts.
ACG boots. We 80s babies and early 90s when it got grimy. I was out of this world, you could not find me unless you check the lobby. Hustling was my hobby. We was lobby boys before Jim Jones. You could catch me in Harlem eating Jimbos. dvderatv back at y'all with another one. Y'all know the slogan. Let's get straight into this one. Now, back in 2016, Sean Kingston was robbed in a LA nightclub for $300,000 worth of jewelry. Now, it says Sean Kingston was bust over his head with a bottle and had his jewels took. Now, the rapper The Game believes that Philly rapper Meek Mill told the police that The Game people was behind this robbery.
You know what happened in the club? And ran up, hit me in the head with a bottle, and they took off my jewelry. Nobody shot no fade with me. Nobody did nothing.
Now, also, The Game says Sean Kingston called them to get his jewelry back, and during that phone call, Sean Kingston told The Game that Meek Mill said that The Game was behind him getting robbed. Now, of course, Meek Mill would deny these allegations, and even Sean Kingston would deny these allegations as well.
What up, man? It's your boy Kingston. I'm just cooling, man, trying to stay positive, work on my new album, come back with good music for my fans, man. I ain't trying to be no more media, no more drama, no nothing. Meek, that's my dog. We never had no conversation about nothing. I got real OGs that'll tell you. I ain't even had no, I know the street code. I ain't never even speak to Meek. When that shit, I kept it moving, and you know what I mean? Me and him left the club as equal. It was nothing. So at the end of the day, man, it's dead this shit about nothing, man. For real.
You left the club, called my phone, said, "Game, big bro, somebody robbed me. Can you help me get my chains back?" I told you fat that I would see what I can do. Then you got off the phone, called me back 10 minutes later talking about Meek called you and told you that I had you set up and robbed in the club.
Now, these accusations will lead to Meek Mill and The Game having a full back and forth, which Meek felt The Game started to promote his album that was dropping at the time for 1992. Now, The Game will basically set this beef off with Meek while he was on tour, and The Game will basically say while he was on stage that Meek was a snitch and he'll beat Meek up. Now, after The Game had his rant towards Meek on stage, a few days later, The Game would drop a track for 92 bars. We had a few lines coming at Meek, saying basically him and Meek don't speak after Meek snitched on him, and he better have Rick Ross call him to dead the beef. Now, after this record dropped, this will basically start a whole back and forth between The Game and Meek on Instagram, with them throwing shots at each other. Now, during their back and forth on IG, one of the posts Meek would make would be the popular picture of The Game when he was supposedly a stripper, and the caption saying, "Photoshop versus real life. You been in Hollywood too long, fam. I would hate for my son to see me like this. Is this Photoshop? LOL." Now, one of The Game's posts about Meek Mills will be The Game posting a pic of Meek on a bike with his homie behind him, and the caption saying, "Riding dirt bikes with another man on your ass. Come on out, Misha." Now, after this whole back and forth on Instagram with The Game and Meek, The Game basically said when he seen Meek, he was beating him up on sight.
You can't fight, you ain't gonna shoot, so stop fronting for these Instagram followers. I'm you up on sight. Period.
Now, shortly after, there'll be a studio session with Meek Mill, O'Malley, and Beans will pull up as well. Now, during the studio session, Meek Mill and O'Malley will make a diss record to The Game off of Young M.A.'s Ooh beat, and Beans will jump on this record as well, saying, "One call and I'm in L.A. in 3 hours." Now, The Game will respond to this diss record and go at Meek, O'Malley, Sean Kingston, and Beanie Sigel, saying lines like, "Hove gave you the game, you ain't soak it. You was supposed to throw up the rock, not smoke it. Talk about you gonna be in LA in 3 hours. It's a 5-hour flight. Put this bum in the shower." Now, after these diss records was released, it was talks of Beans saying he helped Meek and O'Malley write their diss record towards The Game.
He said he went to the studio to write for O'Malley.
And it's also said that Beans was basically trying to backdoor Meek with The Game and Whack 100, basically playing both sides. Now, supposedly Beans called Whack 100 and apologized for coming at The Game on Meek's diss record because The Game and Beans always been cool.
With Beans, I really rock with Beans. Got something to do with a song dissing me for no reason without talking to me. You gotta get it. And he called me last night. The first thing out his mouth, "I apologize, I was out of line."
But Meek and the Dream Chasers were offended, and they felt like Beans was playing both sides, because it was also said that Beans also let out some secrets about the Chasers that only Beans could have told Whack and his team.
Beans stabbed him in his back, man.
For you to go and backdoor and fuck everything what we just built, that was some nut ass shit, dog.
Now, shortly after the rumors of Beans backdooring the Dream Chasers, Beans will be backstage at the Bad Boys reunion tour in Philly, and he'll have an altercation with Dream Chaser affiliate Tiffy Bay. Now, if you're not familiar with Tiffy Bay, he's from South Philly. Tiffy Bay is also the cousin of Meek Mill through marriage. He has a company called Do For Self. He's also from the notorious Bay family, who's legendary in Philly. Now, Tiffy will see Mac at the Bad Boy reunion show in Philly, and there'll be an altercation between Mac and Tiffy Bay, and supposedly Tiffy knocked Beans out. Now, some people might call it a knockout. Some people might just call it a knockdown, because when we did see the footage, he was kind of conscious and he was moving on the ground. So it was just a little TKO. But anyway, you know how it go in the streets. Now, Mac has still managed to perform this night, and when he got on stage, he took more shots at Meek Mill and the Dream Chasers indirectly, it seems.
Philly, we will get represented right. I'ma make sure of it.
Now, after all of this went down, Tiffy and Mac would squash their beef mainly due to the fact that they was cool at once and having mutual friends and both being Muslim brothers. Now, I believe Tiffy Bay is currently locked up, so salute to him and whatever he going through. Now, if you got any info on Tiffy Bay being locked up, jump in my comment section and let us know what's up. Now, just being totally honest, I feel like Beans was wrong on both sides. With him even coming at the game said they always had a good relationship, and it hurt his feelings when he jumped into the beef that ain't have nothing to do with him. But anyway, if you're a fan of these old hip-hop stories, tell a friend to tell a friend about my page. Like, comment, subscribe, and more content on the way. And I'm out.